Hello, welcome. My name is Hannah and I am at my parents' house today because they have air conditioning and it's freaking hot outside. Today we're talking about non-vegan partner. Talking about having a non-vegan partner is one of my favorite topics because it is extremely relatable. There's a lot of people in the situation that I'm in. I have been vegan for 14 years or so and my husband is not vegan, has no plans of going vegan, and how do we make it work? A lot of people have questions about the cooking situation, and actually that is the easiest part. I think the harder part about being married to someone who doesn't share the same foundational values that you have is just that, is having a different life philosophy than the person you're sharing a bed with. It can be a little tricky, and I have lots of videos about that. I'll link them in the description box below. But today I'm going to talk about some tips and some ideas of how to feed your non-vegan partner. Of course, this video is making the assumption that you are the one who is doing the cooking and the grocery shopping. That's the situation I am in. I do 99.9% of the food situation in our house. That's simply because I like food. I like making food. He's happy when I make him food. If I ask him to make food, he tends to look at me with big question marks in his eyes like, really? You're gonna make me make food? And it's all good because I prefer to keep our house vegan anyway, and this just makes it a lot easier if I'm in charge. I just have 5 tips before I go into the recipes, and I do recipes in quotes because they are simple recipes. You're welcome. Tip number 1 is to make food for both of you. I think a lot of people think that if you have a non-vegan partner and you yourself are vegan, or if like your kids aren't vegan but you are, like, you have to make different food. But the reality is that vegan food is actually accessible for all people. I think that there's this idea like vegan food is weird and only vegans eat vegan food, which is just not true. Sometimes people say to me like, man, I've never had vegan food before, and I kind of tongue-in-cheek say, what, you've never had a banana? Because there's a lot of food that's already vegan. All that to say, keep it simple. There's no need for extra dishes. Make the same food for you and your partner or you and your family, and I'm sure you can find something that everyone in the house will love. For me, I think about it this way. If my husband is willing to eat vegan food with me, even though he himself is not vegan, then I'm willing to sacrifice little things to make sure that we can both enjoy the meal. For example, he hates mushrooms. I love mushrooms, and so when I'm making food for both of us, I never cook with mushrooms, and so I'll eat mushrooms elsewhere and he can eat his non-vegan food elsewhere. And then there's the question of how to get your partner to like the food that you're making. So my tip number 2 is to play up the food that your partner already loves. You'll see in the following recipes I use arugula a lot, and that's because Eric loves arugula. Who'd have thought? I mean, that's kind of like a strange thing for a non-vegan to like. So if you know that your partner really loves Mexican food, just make more Mexican food and obviously keep it vegan so you guys can all eat together and enjoy the meal as a family. It may seem like an obvious thing, like, oh, just make food that your partner likes so that they will like it. Obviously, yes, but I think sometimes, you know, vegans, we really like to try new recipes and try new things, and we're not always thinking about like, oh, you know, my partner's a little picky. I think it's important to keep them in mind so that everyone can enjoy their food and it's not just them like, I wish I wasn't married to a vegan. And tip number 3 is just to veganize your partner's favorites. If your partner loves pizza, find a vegan version that you guys can make together and enjoy. Maybe ask your partner like what they really enjoyed eating as a child and see if you can find a vegan version. Mac and cheese is a really easy one to do. There's a million vegan mac and cheese recipes online, and maybe your partner be excited about that. Tip number 4 is to have some back pocket meals, and by this I mean just find some things that are really easy to make. If you're the one in charge of cooking, and let's say you're eating something else for dinner for some other reason, but your partner still needs to eat and you need to make the food for them, have some meals that are like crazy quick, something convenient, but you know that they like. And a lot of people eat the same things over and over, so it's kind of normal for a lot of people to have like Taco Tuesday and pizzas on Wednesday. One of my recipes that I have in here today is not a recipe at all. It's just Eric's favorite pasta that we always make, and we do recommend it. It's very, very good. It's like the best sauce we've ever found. Tip number 5 is please do not force your partner to be vegan. I mean, you do whatever you want, but I just don't think it's gonna go well. I don't think it is sustainable. I don't think it's good for your relationship if you put so much pressure on your partner to be vegan. I talk a lot more about relational advice when it comes to being married to someone who's not vegan in other videos that, again, I'll link below. But even if you're just, you know, talking about meals and you're expecting them to, you know, eat vegan with you that night, and then they want to go off to get some Burger King or whatever they want to get, I don't know, just like that's their choice. And I think that's a thing in relationships that I have had to learn over the years, that I can't control people. Like, he is still his own person, I am my own person, and we make our own choices, and we need to be okay with that as long as it doesn't affect the family, you know? He can do whatever he wants. But I do just think it's helpful to remind ourselves, like, it's not our responsibility to ensure someone is eating healthy, to ensure someone's eating organic, to ensure someone is eating ethically and not killing animals. It's not our responsibility, and it's just going to cause more strife and heartache in the long run if you are focused on forcing your partner to eat a certain way. The first recipe today is a sausage sandwich. It looks like it might be complicated, but it's so easy to make and throw together, and it's really satisfying and filling for Eric. We use whatever vegan sausage we can find. I really like the Tofurkey brand or field roast. And just put on your favorite kind of hummus onto the bread. And once the sausage is nice and grilled, you're just gonna put that right on top of the hummus and add on some red onion as well as hot sauce. We really love Cholula. And then throw that back onto the grill to make it sort of like panini style. Once that's done, then you can finish off the sandwich with some avocado and arugula or whatever kind of greens that you like. Slice it up real nice, and there you go. That's a sausage sandwich. For this next recipe, you're just gonna have to bear with me because the full recipe is coming very soon out in my ebook that I'm doing with my mother. You're just gonna roast some potatoes to make them into potato fries. We like to put salt and pepper and garlic powder. I normally bake them at about 425 for 30 to 40 minutes just till they get nice and golden crispy, just like that. They taste so good, especially fresh right out of the oven. And then I already had made the chili, so this is a super easy meal to make Eric. I just threw the chili right on top to make it like chili fries. You can also put guacamole or vegan sour cream. I just want to pop in here real quick and tell you about the ebook because I'm so excited. It's coming out on Tuesday, so get ready. I've been working so hard on this, like crazy, like working my booty off, sweating in this kitchen. So one of the recipes here that I'm showing in this video is the chili fries recipe, and I just want to show you the layout because it looks so beautiful. Where'd you go? This just looks so pretty. I'm so excited. We have veggie ginger noodles and lentelladas. There's so many amazing recipes in here, and my mom and I have been creating them and making them, and they're it's just turned out so pretty, and I'm really grateful for my assistant for taking these gorgeous photos because I can't take photos like that. I honestly never thought I would be making an ebook, but this just made so much sense to do this with my mom, and this is gonna be a project we're gonna remember forever, and I'm so excited. So anyway, back to the video. The next meal I'm going to show you is my back pocket meal, like I told you in the intro. This is the pasta recipe. No, you guys, it's not a recipe. I know, I'm very aware of that. It's just pasta and pasta sauce. But the reason I'm showing you is this is our favorite brand. We like the pasta, but we especially love this sauce. And that is the whole meal. The whole reason I'm showing this to you, even though I'm aware this is not a recipe, everyone knows how to make pasta and pasta sauce. It's just because vegan eating doesn't have to be so complicated. You can just make something really simple and it's satisfying. The last recipe I'm going to show you is vegan sushi, and I kind of went all out for this sushi and normally just do avocado rolls because I'm lazy like that, but I decided to put a little bit more effort in, and I roasted some onions and peppers, which just, you know, makes your house smell amazing. And then we did avocado, cucumber, and boiled sweet potatoes. To make sushi rice, you're just going to want to use a short grain rice. Don't worry about adding sugar or vinegar. I know that's the traditional way to do it, but it's really not necessary. Put the rice onto the nori and use some water on your fingers so that it doesn't stick to your fingers. And then you can use a sushi rolling mat, or you don't have to. Don't worry about it. And then roll that all up with the veggies inside. We also threw some arugula in there because that's Eric's favorite. Make sure you wet your knife before slicing your sushi and serve it with ginger or soy sauce and wasabi. really simple, beautiful meal and just a fun way to get some veggies in. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys are interested in watching more videos like this about the whole non-vegan partner situation, I always enjoy talking about this topic, so go ahead and leave your questions in the comments below.